Tailing the Ghost by Lowda and The Humble. And this was selected by our guest picker, Kevin Alexander. Kevin is an indie music writer and runs the On Repeat Records newsletter, which is a great read, so do sign up. But
the thread through to top-notch lad.
Top-notch lads.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, the thread through to Kevin is through Kiley, who that's how made that connection in the first place, and then took part in the mid-decade review as well. So I think it's only right that we go to you first for this record, and what you think of Tailing the Ghost.
I should have figured that I would introduce this one, and I don't know too much about Lowda and The Humble. I know that
if it's Mo Louder or Mo Loader, I think it's Louder, but
Mo Louder. Yeah, obviously, I think 4 or 5 records in, Philly band, which in my book is always something that's going to pique my ears. They've, for almost 20 years now, have had an amazing music scene, and so Kevin, is one of those great guys that pulls something that you're not familiar with and makes you listen to it and hopefully find something that you're really into. And I think this is I started out really liking this record quite a bit, and I think my opinion's gone down the more I've listened to it. And I only say that because the latter day Kings of Leon comparisons are kind of inescapable. And when I first, I think it's obvious from Fitzroy that there's a lot of Kings of Leon elements, and whereas Kings of Leon frustrates the hell out of me because their first 2 records are so amazing, and the switch to mom rock, I don't know what they are. Hasn't been my thing. I don't even think I listened to the last record. But the more I've listened to this album, the more I can't separate it from it sounding like the latter day Kings of Leon. And Tailing the Ghost, I think it's a summer record, but not in your classic sugary sweet summer record. I think it's a lot of the I don't want to say vaporwave, but a lot of the blissed out instrumental electronic music that I like to listen to, especially this time of year. It has those elements to it. It's just like a really hot summer day, this record, so much so that you don't really want to move or do anything, a little laconic, and so I don't know, just listening to this record over and over, I kept on wanting there to be like an instrumental remix, record of this. No offense to what's the front man's name, because he's definitely not straight up aping Caleb Followell. Sometimes I do get some Peter Gabriel, which I think is great. But it's just it's a little samey in that third gear last 4 or 5 Kings of Leon records that just doesn't do it for me. So popped it in, was really into the idea, and that's just it's had diminishing returns, which kind of bums me out.
Does it bum you out, Karl? How are you with Tailing the Ghost?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say a little bit more positive, maybe, but despite as Kylie mentioned, them going for well over 12 years, not a band I knew anything about heading into this month. Never even heard the name before. Obviously, Kevin selected it. So one of those records that, as compared to the others, I had like no expectations at all going into this one. And yeah, I think I kind of landed that it's like a decent enough indie record. Obviously, I think I mentioned to you guys, I said Kinsley on straight away. Obviously, similar to you, Kylie, and yeah, that is the biggest touch point for me. So, Jordan Kayola, I've got down here as the front man. Who, yeah, he's for me, he's like reminiscent of Caleb Followell pretty much at every turn. But I think for me, it's maybe a better Kinsley on record than some of their recent output. So if I kind of take it with that,
Yeah, I would argue with that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Kinsley on, but yeah, I kind of liked it a bit more. But it's I'd just say it's like an easy listening indie record. There's no frills about it, and I think it's one of those albums that I can kind of put on and it's quite enjoyable front to back. There's no glaring horrors in amongst the track list, but at the same time, yeah, never completely blows you away either. It kind of just stays in that good kind of range. But yeah, in terms of the tracks, big fan of Canary with that was the only time they deviate from Kinsley on. There's some like real strong Foles style guitars coming in on that track, which obviously I'm going to be here all day for those. 731, I thought was a really nice track. Got that kind of groovy bass work going on. And then the other ones I've mentioned here, To Keep Sailing in the Dark, a bit of a stroke style, bit of a stroke style stomp of that track. And then the one which was probably my favorite is the title track right at the end. You know, it's 6 minutes and it kind of journeys through everything that up until that point the band have done well across the album. And I think the final 2 minutes of that song in particular are just like really quite blissful and nice to listen to. So yeah, I mean, not much more else to say over what Kylie said. I think it's a good, solid enough record without obviously being a great one. I think we've kind of mentioned before, we're all quite familiar with indie music these days, so it takes something special to really knock us off our feet from that genre.
Yeah.
But this one, it did have a warm familiarity to it. You know, with the bands that it emulated, which for me made it an enjoyable listen. So yeah, I'd say a reasonable thumbs up from me. You know, if I need a kind of non-taxing, easy listening indie record to listen to, I think I'd consider turning this one on again. So
yeah, I'm on the same page. So yeah, it's I think the things which stand out the most for me are the lyrics. I think they're very compelling, very interesting. Yeah, a lot of relationship type lyrics, but also, you know, songs like The Painter, which kind of refers to writer's block and kind of believing in yourself as a creative force. So I think the ideas here are very strong throughout, whether it's lyrically or how they want to go about. You know, whilst I don't think the song is all that great, I respect what they do with Sarah's Got Big Plans, where it's basically just 3 verses, boom, done. And is almost like a quite nice interlude and kind of a nice parting, not shot, but parting thought on someone he used to love, who he only hopes that she finds love with the next guy, and that guy treats her nice. I mean, how nice is that? But then nice, I think, is maybe a dominant word when you think about this record, and sometimes you want a bit more, which feels it's lacking on a lot. The one which I enjoyed the most was Take the Bait, which is again very interesting kind of lyrical kind of take, and also the thoughts behind it, where he's kind of, you know, he hasn't got kids, he hasn't got the family life, and he's like does that make it, as good? It was just kind of strange, or whatever. I think by the end he's like, we all just take different parts. Fine, all good. But it's a very like naked kind of thought, I suppose, and not something I've really come across too much in music, and the way it's written and the honesty is quite incredible in that one, I would say. So that was my highlight on the album. As well, the title track, as you say, Karl, another one I really enjoyed. Quite like Northside Violet, where it goes a bit crunchier with the arrangement, some good bass.
Yeah.
And then the guitar in the outro is great. And a word for the guitar throughout. I think the guitar work is very good, well thought out, and interesting. I just feel that in the context of the songs, it doesn't quite sort of, bring you in and let you loose. It kind of has that nice flicker of, oh, that's a really nice guitar moment, and then drifts quite often by the time the song has ended. So
Yeah.
25 Years I quite enjoyed as well. And again, interesting, about a man leaving his family for a criminal life on the road. So there's so many interesting themes and lyrics on here, which I really, like I say, really stand out. Just wish some of the arrangements were that more compelling, and it would have really elevated it somewhat. And the singer's got a very distinctive voice, which reminded me of the Highly Suspect singer as well, in a weird way. But yeah, band, yeah, I'd be interested to sort of see what else they come up with. A good shout from a band who, yeah, as you guys have said, 12 years they've been going. This is about their 5th record, but never come across our path, and that sometimes shows the music which maybe doesn't cross the pond or get more international exposure. And it's nice to have an artist like that to, with no preconceptions and just dive straight in. A lot of potential, I think, this band have, although they seem to have their base and know who they're playing to. And yeah, would be intrigued to try them again at another stage. But yeah, not going to be kind of reaching the higher parts of end of year lists, I think, for me or you guys. So yeah, decent.